All right, boys, girls, and non-binary pals. Welcome back to the Age of Empires 4 action. We take to Himeyama for a showdown, a hoedown between Puppypaw and Corvinus. Puppypaw on the Order of the Dragon up against Corvinus on the Ayyubid. So new Civ meets new Civ. And already, one of these new Civs is looking to make face meet spear here. It's going to be that Rax opening that's becoming incredibly popular right now for the Order of the Dragon. Actually, it feels like 9 out of 10 games that I watch at the moment feature this opening. Then again, I mean, I think I've actually probably watched a grand total of 10 games. A lot of players have actually been avoiding playing Order of the Dragon. But now, Puppypaw, with EGC finals behind him, I think it's going to be a pattern with a lot of players now. They're trying to solve for Order of the Dragon. They're trying to solve for Ayyubids. Then they're trying to solve for Byzantines. Because so far, really, the only civs that have been kind of figured out of the new bunch are Byzantines and maybe Japanese close to. Everything else is still a big question mark. And not quite known yet. Wait, did I say Byzantines? I meant Jeanne D'Arc and Japanese. Byzantines have got a lot of figuring out to do. But we'll worry about that for another cast. For now, we get Ayyubids versus Order of the Dragon. And already we're going to be seeing Ayyubids playing onto that water side. Pretty cool little perk that they get. Same as the Abbasids, the 75 would cost dock, which makes this a very efficient opening. On the other side, that Spearman isn't even aware. Puppypaw, he scouted the center first. Mistakes made there. It seems like Corvinus came out on a delay and dodged the vision. Dude, that is... Okay, that is actually sick. That is actually incredible if he's just done that, if he's pulled that off. And now, the awkward part is on top of this Gilded Spearman. Wait. This Gilded Spearman might get a lot of value, guys. Corvinus is going to have food, but they might struggle to have gold if it isn't for the fact that Puppypaw is looking the wrong way. He's coming back now. He's pulled a village. Well, hello there. I've seen the Spearman opening. I've seen the racks into Spearman, but I have yet to see this. An outpost follow-up. Puppypaw essentially playing Mongols. An ironic thing as well, considering that his history in this game began with Mongols deep in it. Mastering the outpost rush, and it looks like we might get that here. Starting to torch onto the mining camp, but that's because he's waiting for the wood drop-off to get him that tower. You don't want to be sitting here torching. It takes way too long due to the fire armor. Right now, this villager, you can see, is actually doing a lot less damage, so almost half their damage is being tanked by the fire armor because of the House of Wisdom. Now, keep in mind behind this, there's fishing going on, and also because Puppypaw only done one Spearman, there's bigger problems on the horizon. Big shout out to Mjertic Clark. I see you with the raid, my friend. Thank you very much. I hope the games went well. I wonder if this is going to go well for the Ayyubids, dude. That is a desperation play if I've ever seen one. No wood access, so he runs 10 villages out to gather one load of gold and run all the way back without wheelbarrow. A smart read by Corvinus, but also a painful one. Also, funnily enough, one that would have been more optimal going to this back spawn gold. Dude, was he... He must have been paranoid that he was going to get spotted here, though. Like, look how far he walked for that. Holy crap. Now, Puppypaw, he's looking a lot more sizable for the idea of just going into feudal age here. Now, even though Corvinus went for fishing, keep in mind, because he decided to immediately pump those free fishing boats, he had nothing to work with here. He could have went for a straggler tree and then went ahead and dropped the mining camp, but the risk there is that you just get blocked by the spearman, and he didn't want to risk that at all. He just wanted to make sure while the outpost was being built, he buggered off elsewhere. However, now, Puppypaw is going to bugger off back home, and on his way up with the Minework Palace. And, well, this is a scary game now. Because, actually, in theory, on a map like this, with the way those woodlines have spawned for Corvinus, Puppypaw could genuinely just follow this up with Gilded Men-at-Arms. One here, one here. And there's not going to be much that Corvinus can do about that. Now, one way you potentially get out of this as the Ayyubids is exactly what he's doing. You go into the ranged unit, right? Straight away, you get your Desert Raider for free, and then you try to pump 1 or 2 extra runs past that. However, the danger of doing this, especially if it gets scouted out by Puppypaw, is the immediate logical reaction is just to double down on aggression, only this time with an archery range. I've got a feeling that might be coming. Puppypaw gathering off of the straggler trees right now. He has got enough wood to get a lumber camp, but he wouldn't be able to get an archery range as well if I'm... Actually, no, he might have the perfect amount. Yeah, I think he might have the perfect amount for an archery range plus the lumber, but looks like instead he invests in another spearman. Now, that is a little bit surprising here. I thought instead he'd actually just try to prep the Archer transition. We have to remember we have God Vision. Meanwhile, for Poppy Paw, yeah, he doesn't see what's going on right now. And a wall up is happening behind this. So Outpost also to defend it. Corvinus aware that he could easily lose all of his gold otherwise. This is a heavy investment for Corvinus at this stage in the game, right? Having to go into this wall, having to build the outpost. It's a second mining camp. Not to mention the fact that idle time, remember, without wheelbarrow all the way out to the goal, need to spark our memory and nightmares with that moment. Seems like Corvinus's only play out in his mind is now to rush Castle Age. With 8 villagers out here on the gold, this is 100% an advancement tech play, and he will have the food to get him there. Gold is now going to be insulated. There's no way Poppy Paw can stop that. So what's he going to do instead? It would be crazy with the big inefficiencies of the Ayyubid's opening there if Poppy Paw somehow breaks against this. But the thing is, this is a lot of fishing, right? 3 fishing boats, a 75 wood entry cost. This was only a 300 wood investment overall. More than paid for itself now. However, you are up against the OOTD. Their villagers are 25% more efficient gatherers. So that's something to be conscious of here. Is it's actually still hard to contest it. But usually, like the argument, counter-argument, right, is these villagers, there's less of them, especially over time. It looks like instead of trying to go for the archer play, Poppy Paw is going to hang around a feudal, but he's going for the stables. Interesting. Is he hanging around, though? There we go. Horseman comes out. For a second there, the numbers he was holding, I was like, wait a second. I think it'd be very greedy to try and go Castle Age and Gilded Knight, so this is a lot more sensible for him, Poppy Paw. Realistically, this still could be a castle target after you get your hands on 1 or 2 horsemen. The whole logic there is that the horsemen of the Order of the Dragon are almost comparative to knights, if you think about it, right? Their stats are a lot more bulky. They're very hard to bring down. They hit pretty bloody hard as well. Look at that. 15 damage every poke, 250 HP. For comparison, a Castle Age Knight has 230 HP. Now, of course, you're not as melee confident as one of those knights, but still, you have a lot more mobility and ability to deny equity. You have to do that because Corvinus, this... Wait, is he... Okay, yeah, he was out of, like, you know, he had too much food, right? I had a feeling that was going to happen there, so it is going to be advancement. Honestly, at that stage, it might have been worth just trying to go for something else here, but I guess the logic is that Poppy Paw controls the mid-map, so if you don't do advancement, you're GG'd anyway. Because waiting that long for a tech up, Poppy Paw could realize what's going on, and if he scouts it, boom. I think that, by the way, is the biggest issue here, right? Is that the Ayyubids felt like they needed to be nerfed, so they have an extra 15 seconds on their tech timings. But that just made advancement even better without really an understanding from the dev side on what the cause was. They treat a symptom instead of the actual core issue around the Ayyubid's tech timings here. They needed the lower time because otherwise you can easily be scouted out. If the House of Wisdom gets scouted and your opponent sees what you're doing, they have a very long time to prepare. Whereas other civs, when you see them teching, there are options, right? Like you can try to harass them off of it. That doesn't exist against the House of Wisdom. There's no way you're harassing a 7k HP structure at 8.5 minutes into the game. So really, although the devs came with a good intention here with the nerfs around the Ayyubid's tech timings, all they've done is entrench this idea that advancement is the meta for Castle Age in 95% of games. And I would boldly throw out that stat. I'm pretty sure it's not far off it. Corvinus. Ooh. I'll poke up the Tushki for a set there, Horseman. Now hitting to the dock. Corvinus is up in age 3. Unlikely that he's going to be able to invest in an archer ship to defend. Instead, there should be a focus on the Camel Lancers as the first does get primed. Also, looking to play for the Relics. Now, Relic play makes a lot of sense here, but there is a little bit of a worry that he's maybe jumping the gun before he has map control. Keep in mind that you know you're up against Horsemen here. They have spread out on the field. There's a very big risk that your opponent just goes north and south, and the Camel Lancers can't guard both of those things. Poppy Paw. Interesting idea here, not looking to tech up. Now, it's not the worst of ideas when you deep dive it a little bit, right? Order of the Dragon units are so big, they're so strong that realistically, the idea of going Castle Age might seem like a necessity for most civs in this situation. Not as much for this civ. I mean, a Spearman in Feudal Age will hit a Cav unit for 52 damage. One of them will. While being 180 HP deep. Meanwhile, comparatively, these Lancers they're up against, these Castle Age units have 210 health. So I think this is very smart by Puppy Paw to just try and like thick out his lines, get more units to play with, instead of panic rushing up in a castle, and then because of that choice, giving away all these relics, because that's what will happen. And to be honest, most Ayyubid strategies we're seeing at the moment actually revolve heavily around relic play to succeed. Interesting idea here, by the way. Corvinus is building a ram with his camels. That's something he gets access to due to the military wing with the reinforcement option. It allows you to use any cav unit to build these up, including the scout, by the way. Yeah, you heard that right. Anyone sensing we might one day see an Ayyubid feudal all-in where they just use their scout to build a ram behind the enemy base? I mean, I'm not saying they should, but yeah, they should. I definitely want to see that. Villagers. I mean, they are dragon villagers, but they are still taking a lot of damage. Looks like they did get baited there, though. Nice save just in time of the repairs. So, Puppy Paw unable to bring an end. The tyranny of the Ayubids on the high seas. Very high seas. Push in, though. Oh, the Ram got bailed. Wow, okay, so that's just a wasted investment so far for Corvinus. Ram is just dead. This is not a charge. This is by no means never ever a charge. Instead, wow, he actually tanks it with the Horseman. Surprising detail there. I think the logic there from Puppy Paw was he thought it was going to be a fake bump anyway. But now with the Horseman, he has the movement speed chase down, right? There is a damage mouse here, reducing him by 2, but Wallow coming out. Corvinus, of course. He says, if I'm going to win this, it's going to be a Wallow. Whew. Puppy Paw. What are you doing to my heart, mate? The best part, right, is these horsemen are destroying because even with the camel on ease, they hit for 13 against a unit with 4 melee armor. It's so trivial to wipe them out here. Ambulance gets taken down. He could actually torch this down the Dow. Gets the torches out. Not quite enough, though. Quick reaction by Corvinus in the end. However, this Desert Raider is like Scrappy-Doo right now, and I don't like how this story ends. Now, Corvinus, he has got 1 relic home so far. Puppy Paw, honestly, at a point in this game where I think if he goes Castle Age, it's GG. Not in his favor. I think going Castle Age for Regnants would just kind of kill you now. The window's going to be missing, right? Like, your opponent should realistically be able to get 2 to 3 of the relics. You're never going to pick this one at the center with the Prelate. That's almost impossible. So instead, doubling down is actually the smartest play that Puppy Paw can make here. However, maybe the window's closing soon. Golems are on the way. Now, Golems with the double strike up against these Gilded Spearmen. Sure, they do have the melee armor to work with, but it's still going to slap. Same with these Horsemen. No melee armor to speak of. And you might think it's interesting. Why is Corvinus going for the Golem over the Spears? Golems will win this fight, and it will give him a ripple effect where he can actually go in and attack his opponent in his base. On top of that, he has a lot of gold. Wood is more limited right now in his gathering speed. On the food, Puppy Paw finds him on the backside of this. Corvinus, slow to react, but it's not just the fact that he is going to get out in the end, he's going to lose a few villagers. It's the fact that now he's told Puppy Paw he's running out of food. The berries on the front side are inaccessible. That's the brilliance of this outpost, by the way. It wasn't just the gold, it's the fact that he blocked berries as well. And the fishing is done. It's the final one. 500 food, and then Corvinus is going to starve. Spearman overwhelmed here. Dervish Healing's coming out, and it looks like the outpost is in trouble. Waller low to try and scare away the men-at-arms. Puppy Paw. What? Oh my god, I don't think he realized. He just gave over a very tanky men-at-arms here. Spearmen are going to arrive now to clean this up. Villagers are going to be sacrificed by the looks of it. No choice in the matter. Demo ship just waiting, saying, please come play with me. And the Dervish will move across there, so we'll be safe. That 1 men-at-arms that got converted, the traitor is going to be put to death. But Puppy Paw still maintaining a very big military lead here. 44 to 16. Eco lead slowly increasing for Corvinus. Taking those kills as well as getting extra relics is good. Problems I am seeing is elsewhere, though. Golems are going to try to react to this, but these horsemen are just so obnoxiously tanky. And if Puppy Paw min-maxes this right, he can still take out 1 or 2 Golems with no HP horsemen. But it looks like the space is gained. Corvinus is going to be able to wall this up. He is going to get access to the berries, but keep in mind, this is not safe. There's nothing that really stops Puppy Paw from coming back in, folks. He's just waiting for reinforcements. The fishing, it's 3-3-5. It's almost done at this stage. Behind this, Puppy Paw still not showing any signs of going up, right? Like, he's got some gold and wood issues, that's being fixed. Realistically, he could rush up now. With the deer gathering at this pace and the gold with 15 on, I think this is where he's going to look to crack Castle Age. Wolves trying to go up. Men-at-Arms is going to get through, though. The Horsemen also go around the backside. Corvinus, with the clutch quick wall here, keeps him out. Men-at-Arms also struggling to know what to attack here. The cool thing actually about Corvinus' build to a certain extent is with the Dervishes, you can target heal whatever these Men-at-Arms hit. There's not enough of them really to threaten so far. But Puppy Paw is still adding more. 2 more Men-at-Arms being pumped. The food and gold is about ready. I think we are going to probably be seeing a Burgrave player here somewhere in the next 30 seconds. Also, in the meantime, dude, even with the fire armor, it's irrelevant. The speed at which they break these buildings. Now, Corvinus does have a lot of wood. He can replace these losses, but right now he's kind of hard capped. But the Rax is gone. He can't scale Golems any further. He's stuck at 9 here. Puppy Paw is done with being stuck in the feudal age. We're done with crapping into a bucket. Now we're going to throw it over the side of the Palisades on the castle. It's going to be the Burgrave. This is the play. Actually, 100% this is the play. I mean, getting the upgrade on all these forward units, spears and the men-at-arms, 30% faster is what he needs here. Because otherwise, you're at risk of Corvinus trying to fight you. Corvinus, who right now is holding onto both of his relics for dear life. He's not even fighting with them. He's not even, rather, gathering with them. This is classic Corvinus, by the way. When he feels like he's up against the ropes, he will make this attempt at a full-in Wallalor play. It's the right type of game for it. You are up against mass melee. The unfortunate detail, though, is it's going to be a very difficult one to force. Looks like he's instead going to drop those relics off. Rax is being rebuilt. Corvinus needs more troops. Horsemen marching in the flank here. Looks like the Spearmen and Men-at-Arms upgrades have started to be pumped. He didn't use the Burgrave for it, interestingly enough, actually. What? Really? Wait, what? Huh. Doesn't it... It does it faster, right? Yeah, it does it 30% faster. I'm a little bit surprised by that. Maybe Puppy Paw wanted the option for a Langsknecht here. He's immediately starting to pump out the Men-at-Arms, but he waited so long, he could have actually just primed the upgrade in the Burgrave here. And also a Knight coming. That's actually a very scary detail right now because Corvinus doesn't have anything to counter Knights. Now, you might think he does because he's got camels, but that's not a regular Knight, folks. That's a Gilded Knight. They cost 480 resources because they have 400 HP. Wait, Puppy... All right, a bit of a missed opportunity there. Looks like Corvinus is going to get back with another relic. Puppy Paw was distracted elsewhere. But I think he's just focused on getting these tech upgrades. His army is arguably twice as scary. That's not even arguably. It is very clearly twice as scary by the military count, but also the type of units here. Gilded Men-at-Arms have so much health and so much armor. Golems are not going to like that fight one bit. In fact, these guys are hitting for about double damage, if you think about it. It's 18 to the 11. Wallalor coming out here. Looks like he's going to have to drop and run with that relic. However, this many horsemen, rather, they aren't going to settle for just a relic. They will take ahead as well. And Puppy Paw, he hasn't dropped a monastery yet, so he really doesn't give a flying duck about these relics. Does end up letting the Dervish go away. I don't know if that was intentional, though. It almost feels like he lost vision at the last second there. He's going to go for another Wallalor, isn't he? The entire army is here, actually, so it's kind of a double-layered bait. And Puppy Paw, whoops. Oh, turned around for a second there. I mean, this horseman force, most of them are just kind of irrelevant at this stage, right? Like, I say irrelevant, it's probably the wrong word. They are very much in the state of acceptance of death, right? 13 HP on one. We've got, what was that, 37 on another. That one, the one that died was like 20. They're pretty roughed up. This is the army he wants to fight with. Puppy Paw moving forward with a lot of villagers right now. Wait, is this the all-in? What? Wait, what is Puppy Paw up to here? Oh my god, is this a play for the food? He's brought everyone. The villagers with textiles, 98 HP on each of them. Puppy Paw has everything. It's a Control-Shift-A. Okay, maybe not entirely the Control-Shift-A. 12 villagers here, 8 here. But everything else is moving. Oh, baby, we're bussing. There's no way he's going to try to torch him, right? Is he genuinely going to try to torch down the Abbasids? I mean, you do have higher torch damage, so in theory, this could actually work. Wall breaks. He's going to have to try for the wall. It's going to be a difficult one, though. The scramble over. He's down. He's dead. Villagers trying to hold here, but that's not going to work. This is a peasant mosh pit that only the OOTD can win. Mango's coming out soon. He forces the fight. Wrap on the backside of this Corvinus. He doesn't have a second relic to play with. He's on his way now with a dervish, but damage might have been done already. Villagers now with the torches out onto the House of Wisdom. Puppy Paw is legit doing this. Mango comes out. It needs so many hits though. Wololo, a shift to the south side. He gets out of range. Second staggered Wololo, forcing him to the southwest. Instead, he goes for the snipe. And my God, he's actually doing this. Puppy Paw, with the fine-ass read, he pulls the entire village force, 90 HP on each of these, and middle fingers the Ayyubids. I cannot believe that. The Wololo doesn't go off. Corvinus has no army, and the brilliant read, the reason this worked, Puppy Paw realized that Corvinus was running out of food. He couldn't even try to mount a defense. And with the higher torch damage of the Order of the Dragon, this is a genius level read by Puppy Paw. House of Wisdom gives fire armor, making it very hard to die to this type of assault at this point in the game. But the higher torch damage of Puppy Paw's forces, even on the villagers, means he's able to crack this egg. House of Wisdom on fire. It's about to be finished off. And he wants to finish it off because once that's down, this TC dies even faster. Men at Arms trying to body block this out. Warlord Temp's going to come in. He's trying to protect it, but he just can't. He loses the relic again. And this has to be it. The panic of the villagers, the peel off Puppy Paw will not be denied. Corvinus has nothing left. This count for Puppy Paw has barely moved. About 100 population through it all. But one person is heading to ruin. Corvinus down to 25 population. His wisdom is gone. His wits have been scrambled. And Puppy Paw is showing you exactly what NA power looks like.